Okay, here is a 2-card Deskbot Base combo. This is able to be done as long as you see these 2 cards or any of the 2 Vernusylphs that search other Vernusylphs. So this one doesn't have to be this one. So you've got 9 copies of Deskbot 2 with Small World and Ausa, and you have 12 copies of the Vernusylphs you want with Small World and Ausa. So it's pretty consistent as long as you just don't draw Ancient Gearbox. So you do want to be running more than 40 cards to reduce the odds of seeing that Ancient Gearbox. So to start us off, we're going to use the Vernusylph in hand to search for the next Vernusylph. Now these 2 basically have the same effect. You're essentially running 6 copies of this card, which is great. And then it'll also summon the Deskbot 2 out of grave. So summoning Deskbot 2 out of grave, and we search. This time we are adding Deskbot 3. Obviously, you know, this is just if you don't get hand trapped. The rest of your hand is for if you do get hand trapped. You still got another 3 cards to play with. You normal summon Deskbot 3. You're going to want to put it here out of the way in this zone. This zone is very out of the way. Deskbot 3 will then get us our next Deskbot, which is Deskbot 2. And then that searches Deskbot 1. We're then going to link off Deskbot 2. Because this is a non-once per turn, you want to put it in grave and summon it as many times as physically possible. Ballista will then search Ancient Gearbox, which then searches for Deskbot 5. You can also search 6 here. The order of these 2 doesn't overly matter. We will then next fire the Misting Seedlings, discarding Deskbot 1 to search the last Vernusylph. We want that Deskbot 1 engraved. That's a vitally important piece. We're then going to get the last Vernusylph that we're going to play, which is the Sleepy Bear. And then we bring back a Deskbot 2. Now, it's up to you guys to count how many times I summon Deskbot 2 to do this. Deskbot 2 then gives us another search. We're going to this time search for Deskbot 6, if I can find the damn thing. Again, searching them in any order is fine, as long as you get your pendulum scales, and 5 has got to be in your first group that you search. We're then going to do the last Vernusylph with Ancient Gearbox, because this card is just free. This time we're sending one from deck to grave. Instead of sending a Deskbot, we're going to send this. This is an extra body on field and a Deskbot in hand. We will then immediately bring back Deskbot 2 with the resolution of Awakening Forest effect, and we're searching again. This time we search Deskbot 9. So realistically, you can search these 3 in any order, as well as Deskbot 4 can be in any order. So we link these 2 off into it. This does not matter. So here we're just going to throw down a Clearforge Genius. It doesn't matter what we put here. No, we're not going to do Clearforge Genius. I've just realized a major issue with that. We're going to bring out the Ausa without using the effect. The effect is irrelevant. You can use it if you want. I think it's going to clog your field if you do. So probably don't do that. We're just bringing it out to exist. We will then be able to use this Gizbek Engrave to banish and bring back one Deskbot 02, which will then search for our next piece. Our next one is Deskbot 4. Now the reason we want 4 here is purely because it goes to the graveyard when it leaves the field. We're then going to link off these 2. We're going to make the Clearforge Genius. We have 2 copies of this, which, you know, is nice. Means if you accidentally make one early and you can't pend into its zones, you can just make another one later. But in this situation, we've made sure we can pend into its zones, so we're going to do that. We're going to Pendulum Summon Deskbot 4 and Deskbot 9 into these 2 zones. Deskbot 1 will trigger, reviving itself, and Clearforge Genius will also trigger, searching for Deskbot 7. Easy stuff. We're then going to go these 2 into Deskbot Jet, and then we're going to link 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to get a Skulldred. Now we're going to activate the Skulldred effect to draw 4, put 3 back. It doesn't matter. This is merely for the rest of your hand. Your other 3 cards, you're now fixing them. So you've got another 4 cards in hand at this point that you haven't used yet. They might even be Despots. Nice. Now Deskbot Jet's effect is going to blow up Deskbot 5. Deskbot 5 is then going, and then it will summon, sorry, I've got to resolve Deskbot Jet first. Deskbot 2 from deck. and then Deskbot 5 will summon a Deskbot 2 from grave, and both Deskbot 2s will search. So for this one, we're going to get 8, and we're going to get base. Now in this situation, you can, instead of searching for the 8, you can just search another copy of 5. It doesn't matter. We're going to scale the 7. You can scale the 8 too, whatever works. As long as you've got your 9 different names. And then we activate Deskbot Base. Now we can't quite use Deskbot Base in this situation because we don't have everything we need. We will synchro these away, or link these away, sorry, into Masquerena. So Masquerena's effect will still work when we link it off because it's just a condition sort of thing. Now we need, the last Deskbot needs to go to grave or field. Skeldred has a special summon effect, which is why we summoned the Skeldred earlier to summon this. Now we'll link off these 3. We're going to make a 3 material Appaloosa that can't be destroyed by card effects. And now we're going to resolve the Deskbot Base by banishing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that will shuffle your opponent's hand, field and grave back into their deck, as well as ending on a 3 material Appaloosa with IP protection, and that is off of just your 2 cards that you have started with. Obviously the other, as well as you do get a Skeldred draw and to fix your hand partway through that combo, which obviously means that with those other 4 cards that you have in hand, you can do other things with that. So at this point your opponent's got no hand, they've got to play through an Appaloosa off the 1 card they draw from their deck, as well as whatever other cards that you've drawn throughout your turn. Yeah, that's pretty much how you do the 2 card Deskbot Base combo.